My friend, thank you very much, Prime Minister dear Justin. Thank you for that friendly welcome, the warm welcome, which really reflects the foundation between European Union and Canada, namely trust and friendship. This trust and friendship allows us to really move forward in the degree of cooperation and shared ambition so that we can deploy efforts together to meet these challenges facing us. Our political generation is faced with three crises, three shocks. As you have said, there is this shock with nature, with our environment. And so we need to have joint ambitions to tackle this question of global warming and the consequences thereof. As you have mentioned, there have been extreme difficulties in Canada and around the world. We need to show solidarity in this. Then the second shock is the technological radical transformation facing us. There's digital developments and artificial intelligence, including generative AI. This is a test for societies and for each of us in each of our respective societies. And then a third shock, it's directly related to having trust in a rules-based world where there's a certain number of global actors who are testing out this world that was set up after the Second World War, and we sincerely believe that it has ensured freedom and democracy and human dignity, and they need to remain at the heart of our overall global ambition. So it's within that context our political generation in Canada and Europe, together with other partners, have a responsibility to shoulder to take action to improve living conditions and prosperity. That's the first point. That is one of the promises that was expressed by the founding fathers of the European project. So that means that we need to take this challenge and turn it into opportunities for investment, for technology and for high-quality jobs for citizens in Europe and Canada. Yesterday, in a warm setting, we met with some of these climate players, and we will be meeting others later today. And we want to be committed to ensure that COP28 coming up is going to be a real success. We want to deliver, not just in terms of ambitious challenges. We have to respect the commitments that we've made vis-à-vis the Global South. They're awaiting our solidarity and that we shoulder our responsibilities. And then our energy commitments have to be met. We want to have a society where there's more electrification. That means that we need to change our models, a paradigm shift, and of course, as we've said, we need to cooperate with European countries who are already on that path and taking efforts within the European Union. Then the question of the digital era, that's a central issue. Now we're in a world where big data, digital data is a major economic resource, and we need to strike the right balance between innovation, creativity and capacity to improve our competitiveness based on artificial intelligence. And at the same time, we have to make sure that our fundamental rights to privacy, human rights, have to be respected with this fine balance. So in a democratic framework, we have to hold these high-quality debates so that we can identify the right principles and standards to be developed so that we can put a framework around this technology to serve humans and our societies. Then there's another extremely important subject.
All face this is related to the new technologies, especially the raw minerals. And here, your country, with others, you have a very important role to play. We had today, this morning, a very fruitful discussion about the way we can cooperate, the way we can work further together in that field. And you know that in Europe, within the EU, we have identified 34 critical raw minerals. In your country, you have 20 of those 34 critical raw minerals. This is showing that we need to work together to improve our supply chain, to make sure that we can build our future prosperity, taking into account the need for respect for environment and for the respect for standards, which is fundamental for all of us. And then there's another very important level today, and I would like to insist on that. The fact that today we have agreed to develop a partnership in the field of this very important program in terms of research and innovation horizon is a very important step, because this program is the larger collaborative program in the world, and it shows that there's a huge opportunity for all our people in Canada and in Europe to work closely together and to try to make the best for this program. And then I would like also to say a few words of something which is important, which is this trade agreement, CETA. CETA, we remember when we negotiated this agreement, we faced some challenges, including in my own country. But CETA today should be proud to observe that this is an increase by 66% of the trade numbers between Canada and the EU for goods. This is for goods, and 40% for services. It is showing the added value of such a trade agreement and the importance to do everything to maximize the benefits for our citizens today, but also the occasion to discuss at the global level the importance to believe in trade, in open markets, in open economy. For instance, we discussed the consequences for Canada, for the EU of this IRA decided by the United States, it put in place by the United States, and the importance in a format like the G7, for instance, to cooperate and to make sure that we develop a competition based on the level playing field. Finally, one word on peace and security. We are liberal democracies, and we believe in peace, security, we believe in stability. And that's why it's not a surprise that we are exactly on the same page. We support Ukraine and will support Ukraine for as long as it takes. On the EU side, we have already delivered 83 billion euros in support for Ukraine in various fields, financial dimension, military dimension, and we are ready to do more. In the weeks to come, we will make additional decisions. I'm optimistic with our member states in that field. We want to sanction Russia, with also the occasion to discuss the importance to avoid the circumventions of sanctions on the one hand, but also to identify what are the sectors in which maybe some additional steps will be needed in the future in coordination with our like-minded partners. And it's also very important to be a positive actor together to address the situation in the Middle East. That's why I reiterate that we condemn this terrible Hamas attack launched by Israel and its people. We support the right for Israel to defend itself, to defend its people, but it must be done in line with international law. We don't want double standards. It means that we need to address the humanitarian situation. This is good that some poses, a first pause has been decided, but it's very important that the humanitarian consequences are addressed, and we support the two-state solution, and we hope that as soon as possible it will be the occasion to discuss what are the concrete elements that are needed to make the two-state solution a possibility and to guarantee a sustainable peace in that region. We also discussed other challenges we face together. For instance, the foreign interferences and the importance to work closely together to prevent and to react together when we face such a situation. Arbitrary detentions is also a way to instill difficulties, and it's important also to stick to the principles and to stick to the rules. Enfin, on a aussi eu l'occasion d'aborder les...
We also had the opportunity to deal with questions of security and defence and affirmed the EU and Member States' ambition to be a more committed actor when it comes to security and defence. The majority of our Member States are, of course, members of NATO, and NATO is an essential pillar for transatlantic security, but we consider that the European Union and Member States have a responsibility to prepare for the future where we need to have defence capabilities to serve peace and security. And I'd like to round off by saying, dear Justin, that you have invited us to this space which is full of symbols. And you've talked about Signal Hill, where there was the first Morse signal that was transmitted between Europe and Canada. This speaks volumes, and it shows that this ocean is an ocean that brings us closer, brings us together, unites us. We're liberal democracies, and we're aware of our responsibilities. And we know that what is at the heart of our projects is that there needs to be a more just, a stable, and more secure society, and so that we can represent men and women and give them a more promising, optimistic future and have confidence in this future. And of course, we're at a key moment in time where we're faced with lots of challenges and constraints, but there are also many opportunities. And once again, friendship, respect, trust, these are the key to the founding of this partnership, which is as solid as a rock. Thank you, Charles. It's a real pleasure now to turn the floor over to my dear friend Ursula von der Leyen. Over to you.